I can see things looking wild and looking tired and looking for me. Oh, right. Hey, but I said it ain't gonna happen. East West. East West.
Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Yeah, peace and love, everyone. Peace and love, peace and love. Oh, what a beautiful day. Oh, what a beautiful day. And I hope everything is going your way. I don't have any complaints today. I never have any complaints anyway. You know what I'm saying? So why complain? Why complain? If I have an issue, I try to solve it. That's it. You got an issue, try to solve it the best that you can. That's all you can do. And then let it go, pray about it, all that type of stuff. Okay? So anyway, I'm coming to you live once again. Um, because I wanted to just share some information with you this weekend, which is I'm going to talk about what I ran across on the YouTube. Because, like I told you, I love to watch YouTube. I'm a professional YouTube watcher. And I said, I can't sit here and do all this watching and don't do no talking. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, that's what I'm here today to talk about. And I got to get the name right. I'm going to say it wrong. Work with me, people. Work with me. All right, but we're gonna talk about what 47. You know who 47 is? But he got her name all in his mouth, and I'm like, why you want to put her name all in your mouth? And her name is, let me get it right, Ashana Shakur, Joanne Chesma. I hope I'm getting it right. Um, she is a black woman, right? And this is all the way back. Let me tell you, this is all the way back. I can't even tell you what the year is. And I can't tell you everything that I know too, okay? But um so this, I think it's like in the 70s. And she was like part of the Black Panther, Black Soldier liberation type of stuff. And some stuff happened on the New Jersey Turnpike that they're accusing her of, which did not happen. But I'm not going to tell you the story. I'm going to let the videos tell you the story because it's going to tell you the stories even better. Okay, so, but everybody, I just gave you that little tidbit just in case you don't know who she is and what I'm talking about. She's a very important lady, okay? And a brave lady and a smart lady and just somebody we should give honor to. So, before we get this podcast going, I got to do my little things. So, what I'm going to do, number one, as you come on into the room, as you enter the room, I need you to let's do it one more. That'll do me a real solid. You hear me? That'll do me a real solid if you get my drift. All right. So let's do this too. Because I'm gonna be reacting to some videos. So let's do this.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right. So we got that going. And we're gonna just get going with the storyline. So let me get to this. Oh, and let me say this too. Also, this reaction video is to I put the link in there. Ty somebody, you know who you are. I'm messing up names. I can't even see it right this moment. But I put his video address into the caption on the video in the beginning, in the description. So if you're interested in going to watch the whole video, if we don't get to see it here, you'll find the link inside of the description and you can go there. So, and I watch it, tie something. And I like his videos and stuff like that. So, we're doing a reaction to his. So here we go.
I'm a terrible note taker. My notes look like doctor's handwriting mixed with abstract.
Hold up, I'm messing up. Hold on.
90 miles from home. We have the economic leverage on Cuba to bring them back, cut the deal, bring these guys back, and then we'll talk about how we're going to assist Cuba in the future.
It makes you mad. It makes you mad that Cuba harbors these terrorists and these fugitives.
A Senate bill named for Connor and Forster calls for the fugitives' extradition. It is sponsored by Florida Senator Rick Scott.
We got to understand who the regime in Cuba is. We've got to hold them accountable. We have to make sure there's no money that goes there. It's disgusting that some killer like this would be just roaming the streets in Cuba.
Colonel Callahan says he and his fellow troopers will not rest until Chesimard is behind bars. You want her back?
I'd want her back yesterday. And I have Trooper Forrester's handcuffs ready to go on her when she lands on that tarmac, wherever she is.
Those handcuffs are ready. But the Trump administration has been ramping up sanctions against Cuba. That means there is now new hope. The White House will finally be able to bring Chesimard and perhaps the other fugitives back here in the U.S. to finally face the justice they deserve.
Definitely. Let's get Acquit. I don't know how to pronounce your name, brother.
You know what? So, you see what I'm talking about? They're getting wired up. This thing happened way back, like in the 70s and stuff. And this lady is old now. I think she like in her 70s or something like that. And they want her back. You hear him? He talking about he got the handcuffs and stuff waiting on her. I'm like, what's these people's problem?
I'm a sister. First of all, it's a quick cover S on.
There you go.
And that's my Semitic name. And how you doing, brother Tyreek? And I love everything that you did on all your documentaries.
Okay, Tyreek, that's his name. Tyreek. I got it in the look. me and him, we screwing up names today. You hear me? We screwing up names. But Tyreek and his stuff is in the link and everything is in the description box, okay? In 1 second. What?
I was coming out for a couple soda and you called me.
Hold on, because I'm still going.
And one of the things that I want to tell the brother about being from New Jersey and everywhere else, we are the all. And that's it. Our ancestors moved around, and that's exactly what we do right now.
So you're born and raised in Jersey?
Huh?
You're born and raised in Jersey?
Well, no. I'm originally, I'm actually, all right, let me go through my lineage.
Yes.
So my lineage, we come from North Carolina.
Right.
We are indigenous tribe, Wekapek. And through time or whatever, because my mother had me out of wedlock, so I had to go to Pennsylvania. So I would say Philadelphia is my home, as well as Virginia is my home, and as well as North Carolina is my home. But what I'm saying about all of that is it's not where you from, it's where you at.
Absolutely.
And you don't worry about all that stuff. That's a division they try to put amongst ourselves when it comes to how whatever. People get their little ego things going on. But look, a New Yorker can tell you one thing, but I can tell you some realization. Can any brother or sister tell me right now what was the actual capital that was supposed to be of the United States of America? What was the original capital where they wanted to put it at?
What was the capital? Did they want to put it in Philadelphia?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Right.
Look, get it, Terry. Why is not Philadelphia the capital?
Yeah, they didn't want to have it in a state so that a state could control the capital. So they wanted to have it in a district that wasn't controlled by a state, from what I understand.
Well, this is not necessarily true, because in order for DC to even become a district, there was land that they took from the state of Maryland and also from the state of Virginia to even create a district. So
hold on. She reminds me of a female Chief Dusty Wolf for some reason. she remind you of like a female Chief Dusty Wolf? But go ahead. Yeah, I had to just say that real quick. You remind us of Chief Dusty.
All right. So in order for them to even have the District of Columbia, you had to turn around and they had to find a capital. You know why? Because Philadelphia kicked them out. They kicked them out when they tell you about the little Tea Party and everything that's going on. They had choices to make. You're going to get up out of Philly altogether, right? So the thing with that, all this stuff that we speak upon.
I'm just letting her go because I don't want to be rude and cut it off in the middle of what she's trying to get out and stuff like that. But we're gonna let her do what she do.
We told you this was going to happen if Donald Trump was allowed.
90 miles from home. We have the economic leverage on Cuba to bring them back, cut the deal, bring these guys back, and then we'll talk about how we're going to assist Cuba in the future.
It makes you mad. It makes you mad that Cuba harbors these terrorists and these fugitives.
A Senate bill named for Connor and Forster calls for the fugitives' extradition. It is sponsored by Florida Senator Rick Scott.
We got to understand who the regime in Cuba is. We've got to hold them accountable. We have to make sure there's no money that goes there. It's disgusting.
You hear? They say they're gonna make sure no money or none of that stuff go there. You hear me? They're about to put the punishment on them to try to get the Assata Shakur. They're trying to get they're gonna go all out. And as if we don't have anything else in America to be doing but this type of stuff. Like, these people are out of their mind. Let me move on. Let me see where I can get to. Passing that. I'm hitting the wrong button.
You know, I have my prepared remarks, and we're going to get to them at some
90 miles from home. We have the economic leverage on.
I'm hitting the wrong button.
Some killer like this would be just roaming the streets in Cuba.
Colonel Callahan says he and his fellow troopers will not.
So first of all, it's a quick cover S on now.
So you're born and raised in Jersey?
Huh?
You're born and raised in Jersey?
Well, no. Virginia is my home, and as well as North Carolina is my home. But what I'm saying about all of that is it's not where you from, it's where you at.
Absolutely.
And you don't worry about all that stuff. This is a division they try to put amongst ourselves when it comes to how whatever. People get their little ego things going on. But look, a New Yorker can tell you one thing, but I can tell you some realization. Can any brother or sister tell me right now what was the actual capital that was supposed to be of the United States?
Okay, we ain't doing that again.
Spring is vastly approaching, and spring is the perfect time to do a fresh declutter, clear out the junk.
She reminds me of a female. She sounds like she's been drinking on a little something. All right. Princess Edge Control Gel. You know, speaking of Jersey, there was a shootout. Assata got shot.
Okay, let's get there.
Allegedly. Then she was with two other people.
Let me go back just a little
in
bit
73,
more.
They got pulled over for like a tail. They felt like they took an L with that.
A little bit more.
Ambush. See, I think off the Jersey Turnpike, 1973.
All right, now we're getting to
that shooting that happened. I hear that this administration, they're talking about Assata Shakur. They're back talking about they want Cuba to send back Assata Shakur for that shooting that happened in Jersey. I think off the Jersey Turnpike, 1973, where a white officer got killed while they were basically trying to ambush people from the Black Liberation Army. The U.S. government, they felt like they took an L with that. And for those who don't know, Assata Shakur, who was a Black Panther, and then she became part of the Black Liberation Army. 1973, they got pulled over for like a tail light, allegedly. Then she was with two other people. There was a shootout. Assata got shot, I think, under her arm or something like that. She didn't pull the trigger because, from what I understand, ballistics show that her hands were up. So she didn't pull the trigger. So nobody knows exactly who shot who. One brother was killed. The cop was killed. Another brother, he got away, but they imprisoned him. So we're not sure where the bullet came from. And also, just the fact that a shootout ensued, it looked like the cops were possibly trying to ambush them because that was the thing. That was part of the COINTELPRO program. early 1970s. Remember, this was right a few years after they went up in Fred Hampton's house and killed this man in his damn sleep. So you have the COINTELPRO program where they were out here targeting people who were considered black radicals. So they were defending themselves from these suspected race soldiers. They put Assata Shakur in prison, and Assata was clicked in with Afeni Shakur. For those who don't know, Assata Shakur, that's Tupac Shakur's godmother. She was the godmother of Tupac, the great rapper Tupac. That was his godmother. And they locked Assata Shakur up, and in 1979, they broke her up out of jail. They broke her out of jail. The community in New York and Jersey and other places kept her safe. She was in the community for some years. Nobody snitched on her. And then she eventually got sanctuary in Cuba.
Can you believe that? Nobody snitched on her. Nobody snitched on her, but I think nobody snitched on her because she was just connected in that right circle. Because we snitch on, look, they be snitching on you. So, she was in the right connection, I tell you that much. And he said they kept her protected and got her, they bust her out of jail and got her away from America.
And boy, these white supremacists, they've been pissed off ever since. Well, they look at that as a major L. And, every few election cycles, they start talking about how she's on the FBI's most wanted list. And now this administration, they're talking about some more sanctions against Cuba for not returning her. So, this sounds like a bigger play. This sounds, because Cuba, they kind of have them on a terrorist list now because of that. Biden took Cuba off the terrorist list, but Trump put him back on once he got in office. When they do that, they're using Assata to say, look, Cuba's not fully cooperating. They're part of state-sponsored terrorism. So, that helps them block trade, block aid, block access to global banking. That gives them the justification to kind of try to cripple Cuba's economy even further. And also they want to undermine Cuba's global image as a sanctuary from U.S. imperialism. Cuba for a long time, they've served as like a symbolic refuge for U.S. political dissidents, revolutionaries, persecuted figures. So they're trying to delegitimize that sanctuary role. So they're trying to block momentum for, normalization of U.S.-Cuba relations. Yeah. They're trying to make an example out of an uncooperative small nation. They always use sanctions to discipline nations that won't really bow down to them. So they're trying to kind of blacklist Cuba to intimidate other small struggling nations. Like, hey, if you try to go against us or harbor black revolutionaries or whatever, we're going to give you strict punishment. We're going to make an example out of you.
Like they did Haiti and how they doing Cuba. How they just doing a lot of the countries too. America is a bully.
So right now, this is really about optics, control, and also, they don't like taking an L. That's what white supremacists, they don't like taking no damn L. They took an L with that. They had a COINTELPRO program that was designed to target black people who didn't want to be oppressed. Their job was to go in and low-key assassinate black people. They allegedly tried to do it with Assata. It didn't work. It backfired. They put her in jail, and the community got her the hell up out of there, and she got to safety. And they feel a certain way about that. They want to try to shame Cuba. Listen, here's the thing. They know Cuba. They know good well Cuba is not about to give up no damn Assata Shakur. They know that because
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
The U.S., they've been harboring terrorists that they sent into Cuba. Y'all know that? I talked about this before. The U.S. government, they've been harboring terrorists that attacked Cuba many, many times. They got a whole bunch of people over here down in Miami that did all types of janky shit to Cuba, and they escaped justice from Cuba. I mean, let's be real. The U.S. government, they do y'all know how many times they tried to kill Castro? Man, they were trying to kill Castro. They were trying all types of old Wile E. Coyote ways. Yeah? Man, they were trying to do everything against Castro. They were trying to blow him up. They had that Bay of Pigs. That failed. They tried to invade Cuba several times. There are just so many things that just kept failing. They tried to make a scuba suit that had poison in it for Castro. There were like about 638 attempts, literally about 638 assassination attempts on Castro by the U.S. government. They ain't about to give up no Assata Shakur. They don't tell you that part. They tried to put some poisoned seashells out there on the beach, hoping that Castro would pick up the seashell. They tried to, somebody was going to put a poison pen in his office, and if he used the pen would poison him. They were going to send a package to his residence, and if he opened it, it was going to blow up on his ass. They were going to, because they know he likes cigars, they were going to try to give him an exploding cigar. So if he lit the cigar, the shit blow up in his face. They were doing some Road Runner Coyote type shit with him. It all failed.
I was thinking about that. Is funny, the Road Runner Coyote. You remember that cartoon, Road Runner and the Coyote? And the Coyote was always trying to do stuff to the Road Runner. I think I'm gonna try to do a clip with that. And I think he go beep beep like that when he go like beep beep. But I got the Pink Panther too, because the Pink Panther was quite mischievous. Just doing things. Dun, 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 dun. And that's the reason I played it like 2 times on one of my podcasts, but I did get a copyright. Not a copyright strike, but I did get into some trouble. So not trouble like, oh, but it's like, hey, that's a big one. But I'm doing different steps too. So I can use it if I use my other steps, but I'm not even going to try it right at this time. But that fits in really good. That was good, Tyreek. The Road Runner Coyote stuff, because that's all that was, mischievousness. How do you say it? So, yeah, that's crazy. They want to do all this to try to catch that man. Exploding cigars, exploding pens, and all this type of stuff. They need to quit. But they'll never focus on themselves about the stuff that they do. Always looking at somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, so they ain't about to give up no Assata Shakur at all. Because, down in Miami, you had people like Louis Carrillis. This was a dude who bombed a Cuban plane flight that killed like 73 people in 1976. So, they harbored this dude in Miami for years. He was a CIA operative. Man, they were doing all types of shit. You had Guillermo Sanpol. There was another dude who bombed somebody in D.C., and he was a part of some Cuban exile organization.
But I'm trying to get to the point where Donald Trump was saying this stuff. So, You know, that list can go on and on and on. So let me try to see if that's there. Otherwise, I didn't get the right video clip. And I didn't. So I didn't I didn't even mean to do this one. I honestly didn't even mean to do this one. So let me stop. So shout out to you, Tyreek. You got this one. I got the wrong video up today. Really, that was still pretty good. You know, he a cool dude. I like him, but that was not the one I was. That's not the one I'm trying to get. All right, my bad. I'm gonna try to find it. Let me see. I just want the one when he talking about it. Let me go to my this and see what happened. I'll find it later. And then because I wanted to show you that this is what he said out of his mouth. Let me see if I can type it in. Let's see what come up. Here we go. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if this is. This is what I'm trying to share.
With us, nothing. If you're age 45,
The outcome of last administration's executive action has been only more repression and a move to crush the peaceful democratic movement. Therefore, effective immediately, I am canceling the last administration's completely one-sided deal with Cuba. We do not want U.S. dollars to prop up a military monopoly that exploits and abuses the citizens of Cuba. Our new policy begins with strictly enforcing U.S. law. We will not lift sanctions on the Cuban regime until all political prisoners are freed. Freedoms of assembly and expression are respected. All political parties are legalized. And free and internationally supervised elections are scheduled. Elections.
Let's see what I can say.
We will very strongly restrict American dollars flowing to the military, security, and intelligence services that are the core of the Castro regime. They will be restricted. We will enforce the ban on tourism. We will enforce the embargo. We will take concrete steps to ensure that investments flow directly to the people so they can open private businesses and begin to build their country's great future, a country of great potential. To the Cuban government, I say, put an end to the abuse of dissidents. Release the political prisoners. Stop jailing innocent people. Open yourselves to political and economic freedoms. Return the fugitives from American justice, including the return of the cop killer, Joanne Chesimard. And finally, hand over the Cuban military criminals who shot down and killed 4 brave members of Brothers to the Rescue, who were in unarmed, small, slow civilian planes.
See what I mean? It's another one too. I think that's a lot of fancy talk. He said, send her back. So, he said all this type of stuff and like send her back. Let me look for something else. This 1 minute. Let's see how this one goes.
I don't want to hear I fall and I can't get up. It's not going to. About safety, and I didn't want my mom walking up and down the steps. That's how people get hurt. That's how older people get hurt. This is how you avoid somebody being hurt.
It's so convenient. I just love it. It's big enough for me and whatever I'm carrying, a pocketbook, a suitcase.
I recommend it 150% because, again, I know my mom's safe.
Is that sweet?
Your son is.
He's so sweet. He's my love.
Good stuff.
I got a customer to get one of those. Let's see what this was. I haven't even watched it, so we're watching it together.
To the Cuban government, I say, return the fugitives from American justice, including the return of the cop killer, Joanne Chesimard.
Yeah, I heard that she was locked. I can't even read it all. Please keep our sister. Don't return her to these faces. I'm talking to call for people to return Assata Shakur, they are U.S.
under Fidel Castro's protection.
She made her break this afternoon from the prison in Clinton, New Jersey.
And then on that note, I'm getting ready to end this on out. And I'm going to show you this as well. Let me go here. To show you that she is on the most wanted list. You can look it up yourself and see that this is all very true. Look, they go to the website, FBI government terrorists. They got it as a terrorist, most wanted. And you can just go and take a look at all of these people that you want to see. And there she go. Can't let it go. As many, and look, word has it that she didn't even kill the cop. She didn't even do it. They just can't let it go. This thing is personal and it's deep. is deeper than what you and I even know. But the way that I understand the story, and there's so much more to the story that I know personally. They just they digging, and they just won't let go. Shame on America. They ain't shit. I'm getting ready to go. Yeah, let me stop sharing this screen. And I'm out of here. That was a little something. I just seen you. It's disturbing. It really is just disturbing. They always like, where the good fucking news at? Like, where he can do good. He always just doing something that don't bring any goodness. And then when you listen to all the talk, like when he was saying this little speech, if you don't fully understand, you're like, okay, maybe it ain't that bad what he's saying. Then like, and then we're gonna bring back Assata Shakur, the cop killer, and stuff like, man, you got your own shit that you got plenty the cops that kill people. But anyway, I'm getting ready to go. I'm probably gonna come back again later on. I'm not too sure. But that's it. I had so much other information I was gonna show you. But Tariq, I showed that one. That was the wrong one. I didn't mean to show, but that was interesting. And he gave the story where he know. Then you heard the story and you heard it from the 47 mouth himself. So let's just leave with that. And I'm a when I say he did the coyote, he was talking about the coyote and the coyote and the road runner. I'm gonna find that clip and do that because that's funny. But I found Pink Panther to do the same. So like I said, I got a little copyright behind it, but I'm gonna try something else and see if I will get it again. So I'm gonna close out the store. I'm gonna close out the podcast with Pink Panther. So let me put my disclosure up. And before we go, hit that like and subscribe button. And like I said, I hope y'all having a good day. And I just wanted to bring you that. I came across that on YouTube. I'm like, wow, dude, really, 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 really. So let me put this disclaimer up. I wonder, yeah. Let me try this one. Yeah, let me do that one. And then we're going to close out with this. This is kind of long too. But this is the mischief of America. That's why I like this video. When I seen it, I said, yeah, I like this. But I'm going to do a the Coyote and Road Runner one too, and see how that works out for me. So, but here we go.
Damn, Chris.
If I get a copyright claim, I'm going to just pull it off of my and I hope not. I hope it's valuable because I really like it. But that's all, folks. Talk to you later. Bye.